about how to use this one tool to enhance all of your other online marketing efforts and content driven efforts. So let me know, do you feel like all you need is social media and you don't really need anything else? Maybe do you feel like a dinosaur when you hear the word email marketing? If so, put hashtag dinosaur. And hey, I'm gonna hope to change your mind with today's topic and today's content, because email marketing, it's not a dinosaur, and I'm gonna tell you why here. The first reason is it is your insurance against being deplatformed. So I recently did kind of a I'm having a brain fart here. It's just not coming to me. I recently did a live, probably a couple weeks ago, about why you should be doing email marketing, the benefits of email marketing, and today we're actually going to talk about how you can take that email marketing and use that to basically amplify all of your other online content. So maybe you're doing Instagram, maybe you're doing YouTube, maybe you're doing Facebook or TikTok or Clubhouse or any of these other things. How can you use email marketing to your advantage? So, just like in music, when somebody gets that amplifier out and really cranks it up, it goes to 11. So, I'm Levi Hunsaker with JillandLeviHunsaker.com, and I hope to change your mind today about email marketing. And if I do, you can always go to JillandLeviHunsaker.com/bootcamp to get a free 10-day bootcamp and really get into building your online brand and growing that. And email marketing is just one of those aspects. So the first thing that I'm going to say is start simple. You know what? You might be sitting there thinking, well, I've only got one lead. And that's what I talked about the last live. And if that one lead is your loyal follower, we're going to give you 4 tips today on how to amplify everything else that you've got going on with your brand. So the cool thing is that if you speak or write each email to one person, just one person, it's like you're talking directly to a person. That's the reality. Is email marketing is a one-to-many. As you build your list and grow your list, you might start out with one person, but grow that eventually to tens, to hundreds, to thousands of followers that want to hear your content. If you do what Mark Hoverson said and try to make your content the best part of somebody else's day. And we'll come back to that in a minute, because I also recently heard it with a podcast Jill shared with me, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So the first thing is, maybe you're doing Facebook Lives, or maybe you're doing YouTube Lives, or you're doing stuff on Instagram. Well, what would happen if you had a list of 1,000 followers and you said, hey, just quick email, hey, I'm going to be going live in 15 minutes. Come join me on, this platform. So you can send an email before to promote it, or after it's all done, you can send an email afterwards to just remind everybody that you did it. Or you can do both. Which one do you choose? Drop it below. Hashtag before, hashtag after, or hashtag both. Which do you prefer? Okay, tip number 2, to amplify all of your other efforts online. You can take your lives and just put it into a quick email. Just like condense it down, distill it. Some people aren't going to watch a video. Some people aren't going to read an email. Some people aren't going to read a post. But if you basically, instead of trying to create new content all the time, you get to repurpose content, because it's putting it in front of different types of people that have different learning styles all the time. And we all know Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, it only puts it in front of like 15 to 20% of the people on a consistent, regular basis, unless you have a post that really blows up. The third tip of how to amplify your marketing efforts is just to do simply a weekly newsletter. Now, a lot of people have said, Well, what would I even do a newsletter about? Well, you are consuming tons and tons of content every single day. What would happen if you just said, you know what, I'm not the authority here, but I listen to a lot of people that are. And if I listen to a lot of these authorities and I can share what they're sharing and give you my take on it, well, now I just became a reporter and I don't have to be the expert. So it's a simple way to get going, and be authentic. Be authentic in your journey. Be authentic in where you are at, because people are going to connect that with that, and they can tell. They can really tell that you aren't the expert in this. Heck, I'm not the expert in this. I listen to a lot of people, but I want to take and share the things that I'm learning with you guys so that we can all move forward in this journey together. When you're a reporter, you can still be credible. You don't have to be the authority. And one of the simplest ways that I have figured out how to do this is if you say, okay, take a step back and you look at it and you say, what have I found that helped me in the past? So think, even a few weeks ago, 3 months, 6 months, a year ago, 3 years ago, just look back into the past and say, okay, if somebody is at that spot in their journey, what have I learned that can help them? What have I learned that can help you today? And then share that. Okay? Or you can say, oh, well, what am I learning about right now? Right this very second. What can I share to help someone at this point in their journey? When you start looking at it like that, you're a reporter sharing and helping them move past something that they may be struggling with, that you have struggled with, and you have experience in that. Okay, so now we're going to get on to tip number 4. When we look at tip number 4, it's all about telling stories. Now, this right here is the moneymaker, telling stories, learning how to tell and craft a story effectively. So one of my mentors I learned from, and honestly, I tell stories like this all the time, is, you start over here and then you get sidetracked with a squirrel moment, and then you're over here and then you bounce back. Oh, yeah, this is what I was talking about over here. Oh, wait, what about this over here? Hey, I just remembered this thing from the past and it doesn't really relate, but hey, and we're back. And then we tell the story, right? If you're feeling like you get lost in your own story, put #lost, because I get it. Even still, sometimes I do that. And, we have our ADD moments. So as you're learning to tell your stories, focus on that. Focus on building that skill set, because telling stories really is a skill set, and it is one of the most valuable skill sets out there. So it's going to be one of the most important skills that you're going to develop. I can't even remember the podcast that Jill shared with me, but it's all about learning to tell stories. And so this guy Traver Boehm was on here, and he was talking about when he would send out an email, it was he would tell it through a story. So basically he would tell a story. And if you go back and look at our live from Monday, or maybe you got our email yesterday, you would see the stories that we're telling. We talked about kind of the story of how we met, how Jill and I first met, and kind of what the lessons that has taught us in our current stage in our business. But anyway, about this story, see, there it goes again. I'm bouncing around in my story again, but let's bring it back. Right here, Traver Boehm, that telling a great story simply for the sake of telling a great story. No agenda. That's not to say that you're not going to promote something at the end of it, that you're not going to ask people to do something. That might be as simple as following you on YouTube, or following you on your Instagram, or following you on Facebook, or going out and liking or sharing your content with others, or any number of things, but you're going to promote one thing, only one thing in there. Have a focused effort, tell a great story, and then at the very end, this is where you're going to promote your offer or your call to action. And this is all about, okay, cool, how does it apply? You've told a story, you've related it to business, to your product, to your service, to whatever it is, and what do you want people to do next? What do you want people to do to bring them back to you? So if you will do these 4 things by promoting your lives, repurposing your content, your live content into emails, doing weekly newsletters or something of the sort, and telling stories. And all you got to do is just start with one. Start with one email. Build that list. Maybe you've only got one. Grow that list. So again, if you want to learn more about building your own golden email list, check it out at jillandlevihuntseeker.com/bootcamp, or I've got the links in the description of this video. And let me know what your favorite tip is and how you're going to implement that in your business. So once again, jillandlevihuntseeker.com/bootcamp. Check out the link in this video. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.